So in this part of the video, we'll discuss how to work with console and R script environment in R Studio. So as I said, console is a tool that integrate R Studio with R, and it is this system where we can write our code, execute our code, and can identify variables, run with variables, and work with other commands. So this is an important environment. So what I'll be doing right now, I'll input some basic data, but before going into detail of the console, when you open your R script environment first time, it is how your R script environment will look like. It will first tell you about the version, and then it will tell you about the license part of the software. You can know more about license by typing command license, LICNSC, okay, and then blank. This is detail about the license of our script. It's a public distribution license. The other thing that you can know about the contributors of our studio by typing the command. Sorry, you can know about contributor by typing the command. I'm just copying and pasting the command. This is Control C, Control V. So these are the contributors. So this is detail about who contributed to the program of R as well as R Studio. You can also know about there are other commands like help. You can type help and it will give you detailed documentation as we discussed in the last video. So you can go to the help video will be appearing over here. It will show you detailed documentation. So since we have not given any specific issues, so it has given the complete documentation of R. So suppose I want to take a help of command me, so it will, right now I'm specifying the command me. So I can take help of me. I would like to know how mean works. So I'll type help me, and this will actually give me the complete documentation of the command me, how it works, what argument it requires, what output it gives, from where it has been taken, the reference of the command me, and example how to work with this. Okay, so this is how the commands are executed in console window. Now what I'll do, I'll type one elementary vector. How do you define a vector? Vector is a series of a vector is a variable that has series of values into it. Currently, I am calling numeric vector, and then look at what happens when we call a numeric vector. So suppose x is my numeric vector, and it has values 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, 30, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 15, 7, 17. Okay, these are the values. Now I cannot combine all these values unless I use a specific command. So in this case, I'm using a command small c. That's a command which will bind these values together and store in a variable x. Okay, so this has 8 values. The variable x has 8 values. If I press enter button, this line will be executed by console and it will store all values in a variable x. Currently my environment is blank. You can look at your environment which is blank. When I hit enter button, the line will be executed and X will appear in the environment. Okay, so I'm hitting enter button. This line is executed and X is appearing in the environment. What is X? X is a vector that has 8 values, which is a numerical vector that has 8 values. So it is storing, all these 8 values are stored in a numerical vector X. So suppose I want to create a matrix. Matrix is the data that has 2 dimensions, rows and column. So the first dimension is always referred as row and the second dimension is referred as column. So suppose I'm calling a matrix Y. Okay, Y is equal to matrix. When I type matrix, R will actually ask me, R will prompt me how this matrix command works. Okay, look at this. R is prompting me how matrix command works. So matrix command, the command is matrix, then there is parenthesis. It asks data, for what data I want to create a matrix, then how many number and how many, how many number of rows I'm keeping and number of columns that I'm keeping in a matrix. By row is false, which is the default. I'm creating a matrix of vector X, creating, and this matrix Y is arranged by rows, keeping 4 rows, and columns and col, and keeping 2 columns. 4 rows, 2 columns. There are 8 elements in the vector. I'm sorry for the spelling, which is ROW. Okay, so 4 rows and 8. When I hit enter button, this will execute the line, and the new variable Y will appear in my environment. Okay, which is the matrix. So let us look at how this executes the code. This is okay. Something is wrong because I have written capital M. Okay, it's a bit small M. Okay, now I'm hitting enter button. Y is appearing in my environment. Y is a numerical variable that has 4 rows, 2 columns, and these are the arrangements. Suppose I would like to see the view the variable Y. So the command is capital VIEW, and I have to. So if I execute the command view Y, it will show me the Y variable, which is arranged by rows that has 4 rows, 2 columns. 3, 5, 7, 9, which are the first 4 elements, are part of first column, arranged in a row, and 12, 14, 15, 17 are the next 4 elements which are arranged by row in the next column. So this is how I can also, I can delete this. I can also view matrix or higher dimension variable by just double clicking in the variable name, which is in the environment pane. So I can double click. This will again appear in the same way. So this is how I'm actually working with the data. Suppose I want to clean my console. So to clean my console, I have to type a command. I'm typing with S. S indicates a comment. So when I put a comment, R will not execute this line. So that's why I'm putting S. And I need a command, control plus L. If I type this, what it will do, it will clean the content of my console. So I'm going to type it control L. Okay, this says clean my console. Same way, if I want to remove a particular variable from my environment, the command is rm. And suppose I want to remove x, I'll type x. Now, if I type this command, this will execute and it will remove a variable x from my environment. You can look at the way variable x is removed from the environment. If I want to remove everything in my environment, I can, let me remove y also. Y is removed. Let me call x and y again. This is x, this is y. Suppose I want to remove both x and y, or suppose my environment has number of variables. I want to remove everything from my environment. The first method is I can remove by writing a command rm list. List is a typical variable. I'll discuss about it. ls, and I say remove a ls blank. So I was discussing about the command rm. Before that, let me again call the variable x and y. X and y. These are the content of my environment. Suppose I want to remove all content of the environment. I'll type command list equal to ls. Keep it blank. It means take all. So this will take everything, remove everything from my environment. This is happening. Okay. So this is the second way. I can also use interactive way. Let me read x and then read y. So x and y are appearing in environment. Suppose I want to remove these. There is a button, brush button on the environment window. I can use this brush button. It will ask you whether are you sure you want to remove all objects from the environment. You say yes, and this will remove the objects from your environment. So this is how you can clean your environment window. Let me close this. So this is how console works. So what we have understood so far in case of console, the first command, which is control plus L, this will remove the content of the console in console of. Okay. So the second thing what we understood is the second important thing that we understood is we can use rm command. Okay. I have to define variable if I want to remove it, rm variable. This will remove the particular variable from the environment. Variable from the environment. Okay. The next thing what we understood is we use the command rm list equal to ls blank. This will remove all variables or objects in the environment. Okay, so these are the three important commands that we can use. We also learned how to input a variable x that has values. We use the function or command c. So c is a specific command we have to keep in mind, which is used to bind. C is used. C is used to bind values in a variable. Okay, this is very important. Keep in mind C is the small letter. That's very important command. We also learn another important command is matrix. Matrix. This command is used to. This is the command how this command works. That is used to create a matrix from any variable x. Okay, so that's another important command. What we'll be doing in the next stage is we will be using R script, which is, as I said, is an editor window. We'll be using R script to create uh, and we'll work with these command and execute these command using R script. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a R script editor. To open RScript editor, what you have to do, you have to go to File, open a new file, and RScript. So once you do it, an RScript editor is opening. Now what you can do is you can type. The first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a variable x, which is 3, 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, 14, 15, 17. So this is a variable. Currently, this text variable is not there in the environment because I have deleted it. So suppose I want to execute the variable x again. Before going to do this, what we'll do, in the console, we'll clean all objects in the console. Remember, what is the command in the console? The command in the console is Control L. Okay, so everything is removed. There's nothing in the console right now. Now, suppose I want to read this variable x in execute this line 1 of my R script. How do I execute? Method 1 is select a line, the line that you want to execute, and hit the run button. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to select the line number 1 I want to. There is a run button here. What I'll do, I'll hit run button. If I do this, what is happening? It is executing first it has copied this everything in the console and executed through console. Now this x is appearing over here. I'm going to write another variable y, which is a matrix of x that has n row as 4 and col as 2. I'm going to do this. I'm going to execute this. To execute again, I can select it and hit run button. Now I'm going to discuss the method number 2 of executing a line in R. So the method number 2 is keep your cursor either in the beginning or end of the command or line. Okay, so either you keep your cursor in the beginning or end of the line and hit run button. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll keep my cursor either in the beginning or in the end of the line and hit run button. So when I do this, look at what is happening. It is actually executing the line 2 while matrix this, and the new variable is creating, it has created a new variable in environment window. Okay, suppose I want to remove x, I'll type RX, I'll keep my cursor in the end, hit run button. This is executing in console and the x is removed. Suppose I want to remove everything from my everything from my environment. What I'll do, I'll say list equal to ls, and then I'll keep my cursor either in the beginning or end. Hit run button. This is actually appearing over here, and it has removed y. So these are the basic commands. And again, what I can do is I can read number of lines together. I can select these lines. What I'm doing right now, I'm selecting 1 and 2, and I would like to read them together. So what I'll do, I'll select them and hit run button. If I select them and hit run button, it is executing x and y is appearing in my environment. Okay. Suppose I want to view the variable y. So command was u y. Okay, if I do this is showing you the variable y. So this is how a specific command works in R script. In R script, the advantage is you can write number of commands together. You can run. So this is how command works in console as well as in R script environments. And this is how we work with console. And next video onwards, we'll be working both on console and R script. So this is a small introduction to console and R script. This is all about today's this video. We'll continue this writing some basic command in the next video onwards.